We got it. We got it. Ah, shit. Okay, now we need to possibly use the.
It's the anti-tracker.
We will return to your scheduled programming shortly, or we are currently experiencing technical difficulty.
What is going on YouTube? Michael J. Crawford, the anti-tracker here. Good day. Thomas, as usual, is first in the house with, well, I assume that's supposed to be like a smiley face, but for some reason the emoji didn't quite get there. And then Tom says hi. Hector says hi. Rock Solid says damn it, which is funny because I thought he was quoting BIRDOPREY because I had the BIRDOPREY audio going, except that I forgot to unmute the audio, so he didn't hear that. So Rock Solid is proving that unlike BIRDOPREY, he actually has psychic powers. Bradley says zup y'all. J-Roar is in the house. Thomas, so Sony and Kuroga, which is worse? Kuroga. I would definitely say Kuroga is worse than Sony. We'll talk about that in a minute here. But number 18.
I have to save that old person. Sam! Well, thank you very much for helping me steal this.
Here we go. And Josh says, hail to Auntie, new ruler of Turtistan. Auntie's not the... Wait a minute. Is there something... Did I not get the memo? Shomer says, greetings, anti-tracker and fellow nerds. How you doing, my friend? If it's not wokeness ruining something, it's greed. That is, unfortunately, what I think is at the bottom of this. And rather ironic if you consider that the wokeness and the greed motivations seem to be directly conflicting with each other, and yet they're both starting to rear their ugly heads in the MCU. John DeMarco says hi. Rocksolid says, don't forget people, smash the like button, share via social, set chat to live, donate if you can, subscribe, turn your mic on before your stream. I should have listened to that one. And down with my August YouTube revenue. Son of a bitch. Yes, I will tell you, boy, my August YouTube revenue. Ugh. But, of course, a lot of that is my own fault because I haven't been able to get videos out. But, yeah, this month's revenue is not pretty. Fish cam is dark. Yes, I'm having a slight problem with the fish tank's lights. I'm not sure what that is. The camera is working fine, but the lights are not kicking on. So I got to figure that out. But with my back the way it is, I can't get under there and start messing with the cords. Chrono says, yay. I said, sorry for the no audio. And Chrono said, what? And Josh says, is anti-tracker pulling a bird with no sound? No, a bird with no sound would be about 20 minutes into the stream before I realized it. J-Roar says, I hear you, thank you. Stromer says, and greetings to Auntie, chaser of treats, barker, occasional barker, sniffer of bottoms, sleeper extraordinary, and puppet mistress of Turtistan. Thank you, sir. Wait, isn't the Herman Schmeckelbeck channel, this isn't the Herman Schmeckelbeck channel, unsubbed. Now, the Herman Schmeckelbeck channel, it can be spelled BIRDOPREY 5. That's how you spell Herman Schmeckelbeck. Rock Solid says, good day. Is that a guarantee? No, it is not. Did you hear about the possibility of being a Matrix 4? OMG, they'll ruin that so badly. Yeah, you know, on the one hand, a Matrix 4 I wouldn't be opposed to as far as just a movie in the Matrix universe, but yeah. I'm sorry, the Wachowskis were woke before woke became a thing. However, The Matrix was not based on wokeness. If they make another movie, it probably would be. And so, yeah, I'm not interested. Chrono says, don't forget to switch to live chat. Absolutely. And then Thomas says, that was a typo. Okay? I hate when you say that was a typo because I don't know what that is referring to specifically. Because the last thing you put in was fish cam is dark, and I don't see a typo there. So, Hector says the only good thing about the Spider-Man thing is the iron talking spider suit will be gone. Well, that's assuming you don't like the iron spider suit. I kind of like it. Because, and this is something that someone brought up in a review of Spider-Man Homecoming, and I hadn't really thought about it, but I agree actually with this sentiment, and this is why I think that the talking suit is actually a cool thing. Spider-Man in the comic books has always been a habitual monologuer, right? You would constantly be reading Spider-Man's thoughts. He'd constantly be making wisecracks to himself and stuff. And then when he actually gets into the fight, he would be making wisecracks at the bad guy. And that's all fine and dandy in a comic book. In a movie, Peter Parker would just look crazy if he's walking around talking to himself all day long. So if you give him an AI in the suit that he can talk to, it gives Spider-Man the ability to have that dialogue without him looking like he's just plain nuts. Hector also says, Alexander will be grieving no nude MCU Aunt May in the future. That is very true. Well, or, the Sony Aunt May will go back to the traditional Aunt May of an old lady, and then Hector, I think that Alexander will be really depressed. Hector is also saying Matrix is ruined from Matrix 2 onwards. I wouldn't quite go that far. I enjoyed the Matrix sequels. I don't think that they were nearly as good as the first one, but I did enjoy them. Good day. Do you think you're Paul Harvey or something? How about the rest of the story? And now, good day. Yes, I used to listen to Paul Harvey. Yeah, he was awesome. Commander Shran says, hello, everyone. Hey, Cinnabon is in the house, says, good morning. Hey, Cinnabon, hope your bunnies are having fun running around. Moon, that's how you, M-O-O-N, that's how you spell Herman Schmeckelbeck. And I'm pretty sure it's B-I-R-D-O-P-R-E-Y 5. Oops, forgot to say, hey, everyone. Hey, everyone. No problem, Kronos. That was clearly referring to the smile face. Well, sorry, Bird, if it was super duper clear to you. I'm old and easily confused. Hector says hi to Kronos. Kronos says hi to Hector. Darren says, Enter, good morning. R.I.P. Spider-Man indeed. I am ambivalent towards the whole thing. Maybe I'll get lucky and Marvel Studios will make the Hulk the new face of the MCU. You know that's not going to happen. And the problem is, and this is my biggest fear, assuming that Sony and Marvel don't come to their senses. And I'm going to probably do a quick video on this in the next day or two, but it's absolutely stupid if they don't come to their senses on this, because Sony, is making a lot of money off of the Spider-Man franchise. Marvel is benefiting from that franchise as well. And more people are interested in Spider-Man because of his appearances in the MCU, which means that Sony gets the added bonus of not only having a popular character, but having a character that's also being pimped in the MCU movies, which means that they'll get even more free publicity for that character. That's all fine and dandy and gravy. And so to piss that extra revenue away is stupid. Now, Marvel, on the other hand, of course, will lose their main flagship character that they still have available. Spider-Man has been the centerpiece of the Marvel universe for the majority of Marvel's existence. And so that would be horrible for Marvel. Now, Marvel has more that they can recover with, but what I'm afraid of is that their backup is not going to be to go to the Hulk or something like that as the new face of the MCU, rather Captain Marvel. Chrono says, Matrix Reloaded was good, Revolutions not so much. In Revolutions, I liked the physical battle at Zion. I did not care for the Neo versus Smith fight. So... Peter says, seriously annoyed and triggered. It all comes down to money, Spidey. Yeah, I know. And that's, but the stupid thing is that they'll make more money together than they'll make separate. I know that Sony is probably feeling like, hey, Venom made a bunch of money and Spider-Man is making a bunch of money. So if we say, screw you, Marvel, we're going to make all the money on our own. but then they don't have Marvel's assistance in making quality films, guess what? They're going to end up with another Spider-Man 3. They're going to end up rebooting the franchise again, and people are going to get burnt out on Spider-Man. Darren says, I would totally accept Doctor Strange being the new face of the MCU in lieu of the Hulk. I would too, but I dare say it's going to be Captain Marvel. If it's not going to be Spider-Man, it will be Captain Marvel. And I don't like that idea. I find her character to be grating and annoying at best. But that's what they did in Marvel Comics. And it would make sense for them to follow suit in the Marvel Cinematic Universe if they don't have any other characters that just automatically jump to the forefront. Now, there's still the hope that the Fantastic Four will become the centerpiece of the Marvel Universe. But we'll see. We don't know anything about that yet. And Peter says, so annoyed and I forgot. Yeah. Live with Matthews here says, Sony decided to kill the goose that lays the golden eggs. Exactly. It makes no sense. Rocksalt says, Disney wanting 50% of the revenue, however, was stupid. Well, I didn't read the details of it. If that's what the fight was over, is Disney wanting 50% of revenue. I would say that, honestly, if you want a truly fair and equitable deal for both parties, then very simple. Marvel, you can do this. Marvel gets 50% of the revenue from the Spider-Man films. However, Marvel pays 50% of the costs of production. Same with Sony. Now, on the MCU films, Sony would get a very small percentage for the licensing of the character. But obviously, since Spider-Man is not the main character in an Avengers film, it wouldn't be 50%. It would probably be more like 10 to 15%. But the thing is that if Marvel is going to front the costs, I'm okay with them getting half the revenue. If they're not going to front the costs, then no, I'm not okay with that. But I believe that Marvel was producing the Spider-Man films, even though they're Sony distributed films. And so I don't know what all the details of the deal has been, but I just want Spider-Man to be in the MCU, dang it. Just like cats, peeps are sometimes jerks. Well, that's true. But cats are always jerks. All Spider-Mans in the future will be 25% different. Rambling Canuck says, good morning, my Canadian friend. I actually liked Animatrix quite a bit, and I'm not an anime fan. I liked Animatrix, bits and pieces of it. I didn't like the whole thing, but I did like a few of the bits in it. Like, I liked the history that they showed of how the machines rose. I thought that was cool. I did not care for the CGI animated one with the last flight of the Osiris, I think it was, which is the story of how the information got to the people about what the machines were doing. Some say the Wachowskis stole most of the script from another author. Matrix 2 and 3 kind of proves the rumor. I don't know, but I do think that Matrix 2 and 3 were definitely a step down. Chrono says Matrix was my fave. Yes. It's not about making money anymore so much as making all the money. Well, that's true, but the thing is that if you're going to, here's the thing. Would you rather have half of $1 billion or all of 250 million? I would say $500 million is better than all of 250 million. Now, what if it's $500 million compared to 400,000, where it gets close? Well, then I could kind of see where you might be debating it. However, as long as you're making more money in the partnership, you do the partnership, period. Or they rush forward with Ironheart. Shuri would make a great Ironheart. Shuri might make a good Ironheart, but you know what? I think anything that was from the last 20 years of Marvel Comics should be forbidden from being in the MCU. Just look right now. The only thing they've really done that's based on recent Marvel Comics is Captain Marvel, and see how well that what turned out. I don't think it will be Captain Marvel anymore. The audience has spoken out on that, except that Captain Marvel did make a ton of money, and even though we all know that the reason Captain Marvel made a ton of money was because it was sandwiched in between two Avengers films, however, people are going to try to use that as an excuse that Captain Marvel should be the centerpiece of the Marvel Universe. And depending on how woke the executives at Marvel and Disney are, they may buy into it. They need to scalate the earnings for the investors and rising costs. They're ruining the industry. Yes. Rockstar says they want 50% of the revenue and they need to put up 50% of the cost. Agreed.
I got him! Great kid! Don't get cocky.
And Joseph wants to know, thank you for the €2. Says, will we get a 3-armed Neo since the bros are now sisters? That's a good question. Probably. 50% of the revenue if they stay with the MCU might still be more than 100% of revenue if Sony goes solo. Exactly, and that's my problem with this whole deal. Is Sony is pissing away money. They still have Venom and stuff. And what Sony should really be looking at doing is expanding the deal to include Venom. But no, they're idiots. Actor says Sony movie division is in the red for years. That's true. And it's funny because most of the studios these days are struggling except for Disney. And of course, Disney is like producing all the hit movies. Sony owns 100% of the merchandise rights to Spider-Man, and Disney hates that a lot. Well, but you know what? I understand that. I get that. However, I would say that that's the cost of having Spider-Man. And that's the thing. The real money is in the merchandising. And so if Sony keeps the merchandising rights for Spider-Man, and Marvel gets half of the income from the films, I think that's more than fair to Sony. Son of a Red Shirt is in the house. Says, Antracker and everybody else, good morning all. MCU Sony split. Thank God maybe now we'll get a rebooted Spidey and finally get that origin story we've all been hungry for. You know, for a minute there, Son of a Red Shirt, I thought you were serious. In my country, Spider-Man merch is very prevalent. Yeah, Spider-Man merch is popular. It has been popular for a very long time. What if I told you The Matrix 4 is real? Well, then I would say... give me the blue pill. Final Flight of the Osiris. But yes, I did like the history as well. It was well done. Yes. Chrono says, no, cats aren't jerks when they are sleeping, which is 23 and a half hours a day. Well, they are jerks when they're sleeping. You just don't realize it because they're dreaming of killing you. It's too bad that when Disney bought Marvel Comics in 2006, they didn't get all the movie rights for all the characters. Yeah, but they couldn't because those movie rights had already been sold off by the haphazard management of Marvel Comics. And Marvel Comics has absolutely proven that they don't know how to run a business. Vile Mike is in the house, says, howdy, how you doing? I originally thought Sony gave Marvel Spider-Man for a couple of movies, and that was it. Yeah, the deal was for 5 appearances of Spider-Man. That was the original deal. Those 5 appearances have now happened. We had Civil War, and then Civil War, Homecoming, Far From Home, Infinity War, and Endgame. Those are the 5 appearances of Spider-Man that were in the initial contract. And so now, the deal was that after those 5 appearances, that Sony and Marvel would sit down at the table and renegotiate the deal for potential future films. And it sounds like the two are not going to play nice, and so everybody loses. And the stupid thing is that, you know, both sides are losing on this. Marvel loses, Sony loses, and of course the biggest losers, us. I originally thought, I read that Hector says hi. Hey, well, we've been talking, Hector. Hi to the new channel, peeps. Yes, and it's very cool. Have a significant number of new subscribers. So welcome, one and all. Why is my computer being stupid now? Close that window. Which is awesome. And so now me and Mr. Miles just need to get to work in producing more videos, because if we don't, then, well, then we're stupid. Also, bring He-Man back. That sounds freaking awesome. Ozzy says, Carl Urban is awesome in the Amazon show The Boys. I didn't know Carl Urban was in it. That might actually get me to watch it, even though, hello world. Honestly, some stuff I've heard, I'm not that thrilled about it. And Luke throws a couple of euros in. Thank you so much. And I didn't quite catch the chat when it was on the screen there, but I'll get to it in just a minute, Luke. What will be done to the Space Engineers server at this time of day? What do you mean, actor? And I know you're directing that to BIRDOPREY, but I'm kind of curious. Marvel Comics also does Star Wars comics. That's true. I have some of the early Star Wars comics from Marvel. I certainly wouldn't mind seeing a faithful comic book recreation of Old Man Logan. Well, I think the movie Logan is as close as you're going to get to that. Hit the like, people. 37 watching, 15 liked. Yeah, what's the deal? Bunch of lazy bastards. MCU Aunt May should be forbidden from wearing pants or shirts or clothes. Rock Solid, I think you're just saying that to see if Alexander's around. I still haven't seen Captain Marvel, no wish to. You're not missing anything. Kronos will do its part. Okay. Anything from SJW Marvel, Ironheart, Hulk? I don't even know who Cho Hulk is. She-Thor, Falcon, Cap, etc. should be excluded from the MCU on general principles since they were all failures in the comics. Well, yeah, that's the funny thing. Now, I'll say this, and I know you're going to disagree with me on this, Dan. While the comic book woke crap, failed for a reason, I think that Anthony Mackie's Sam could take on the Captain Marvel mantle and be successful. I like his character in the MCU. He's got the right personality for it, and the actor himself is actually the Falcon in the MCU has been one of those characters that I wish was in there more. I understand he's not an A-list character, but I really, really liked him, and so I'm all down for him being Cap from now on. That being said, I would be more than willing to sacrifice Falcon as Cap in the name of not bringing any of this other crap in here. It seems like Marvel Phase 4 is dedicated to, hey, let's bring in the new stuff that Marvel's done that's all been a financial failure because we don't care anymore. So, yeah. And Bird is saying, oh, Cinnabon is cleaning up the trash and adding this. Oh, I didn't know he was doing that right now. That's I get it now. Peter says, I wonder, what does Tom Holland think? That's the main issue here. I don't know. Tom Holland has been kind of quiet about it. I know that Tom Holland was, and granted, he is just a kid, but he was like jumping out of his skin about how excited it was about being in the MCU and stuff. But the actor really has no say in it. As much as we all, I think, pretty much universally agree that Tom Holland is an awesome actor to play Spider-Man, his opinion is completely irrelevant to any of this. Those super chats are a little loud. Still working on that. I'm trying to figure out why they, because I turned down the volume, but I was afraid of turning it down too much. But I will get in there and turn it down a little more. Let's not forget about the inflated Captain Marvel numbers and the mysterious empty theaters. Well, I'm not going to get into the conspiracies on it, Darren. I'm just going to say, on the surface, Captain Marvel made a lot of money, and so people will try to use that to argue that she should be the centerpiece of the Marvel Universe. The problem is that she does not reflect what the Marvel fans want. And Marvel needs to understand. I understand Marvel Comics is a hopelessly lost cause trying to convince them of anything reasonable, but Marvel Studios, up until this point, has been doing a pretty damn good job at producing good quality entertainment, mostly based on their comics from the 70s and 80s. And if they're going to suddenly shift everything to their comics from the last 20 years, it's over. Let's see, talking more about Space Engineers with actor Peter. Less white. He wanted less white males in the MCU. He got his wish. I'm not sure who he was there. Oh, Holland. Did Holland say that? I didn't. If he did, I didn't hear him say that. I've had a hard on ever since I took the blue pill. Be careful. Jeez. It took me a minute. Remember, dogs have owners, cats have staff. That is true. Marlena is in the house, says, hi. Hey, Marlena, I haven't seen you in a little bit. Hi, hope you are doing well, my dear. I am sure that he loves, let's see. Peter says, am sure that he loves his Marvel friends. Okay, not sure what you mean there. How do you know that cats are dreaming? Well, because reasons. I wouldn't dispute that the current Marvel Comics doesn't know how to run a business. Yes, I know you wouldn't dispute that. Let's see. The new Spider-Man film, Spider-Man Homeless. Yes, that's actually should be the... And especially after they dropped the bomb at the end of Far From Home with J. Jonah Jameson and everything. How can you not follow up from that? And if they do follow it up as a Sony only thing, I mean, if Spider-Man is now outed as a villain, then you would think that other members of the MCU would get involved. You know, like even like Old Man Cap, because he knows Spider-Man. You have most of the Avengers that know him, and you know, they would all be out there saying, no, there's no way that he did this. Let's get a real investigation going and stuff. But no, apparently that Spider-Man's just going to drop off the radar. And so there's Luke's super chat says, hail, Michael. Hail, Team Europe. Hail, hashtag #MePooClub. Hey, Luke. Good to see you, my friend. As always, you're my favorite French person on the planet. Mainly because you're the only French person that I actually talk to on a regular basis. Scientific Life says, no more Spider-Man comics in the foreseeable future, I assume, like they did with X-Men and FF years ago. That'll be interesting to see if they do something like that. But, you know, and that just shows how stupid, and I mean stupid, is the management of Marvel effing Comics, right? Because here's the thing. Marvel Comics.
Hello, world.
And Captain Spire, thank you so much, puts $5 into the
I
chat.
got him! Great hit! Don't get cocky!
So does that sound really loud to you guys? I can't tell from my side, so I'm going to have to... I wonder if I can adjust the volume of the Streamlabs in here. Oh, it looks like I can, so I'll try doing it there. And we'll turn that down. So the next time a super chat comes in, we'll see if if the volume's better. All right. So, but here's how stupid Marvel Comics is. They have one of the best-selling over the history of the Silver Age to Modern Age of comics, one of the best-selling books of all time, Fantastic Four. They have one of the best-known and selling characters of all time, Spider-Man. They have another extraordinary, became extremely popular in the 70s and 80s, the X-Men, right? Where at one point there's like, 10, 15 X books published simultaneously because they're so ridiculously popular. Wolverine, for a while, was one of the most popular characters in all of comics. So they have all of that going for them. Then they get all pissy about the fact that Fox, because Fox is not stupid, doesn't want to give up the rights to X-Men and Fantastic Four. So they're like, okay, well, we'll just stop publishing X-Men and Fantastic Four. So now we won't get any of that revenue because we're smart. I mean, seriously? You're going to give up all the revenue that you got from your X-Men and Fantastic Four comics because you're pissed off that someone else is not going to let you break the contract. Sorry, you shouldn't have sold them. Marvel Comics, not Marvel Studios, Marvel Comics. I understand that Marvel was in a bad way financially when they did sell those rights, but you know what? You sold them. And so it's not like Fox did anything wrong, except for the fact that they produced crappy movies, but they didn't do anything wrong as far as the terms of the contract. So screw you, Marvel Comics. What the hell is your problem? And you're making money off of selling these same characters. Let the movies be free promotion for you. But you're idiots. All right, sorry. Maybe we'll finally make a movie with Spidey and Venom. We might. That would be the one good thing. I would like to see that, but yes. Shormer says, if you owned a dog and you died, you would find your faithful hound lying proactively over your body, guarding it. If you owned a cat, you just find a well-fed cat. That is 100% true. Roxal says, you missed the obvious reunification TNG reference in your video this morning. Yeah, I know. Someone, I don't know if it was you or somebody else mentioned that in the comments, and I was like, oh, dang, I should have thought of that. BIRDOPREY says, breaking news, they're rebooting Rent with all Mormons. Why? And Luke says to Kronos and Marlena, hey, because those are the only two people Luke likes, apparently.
Hello,
and then, hey, Cat's inspired, thank you so much.
I got him! Great kid! Don't get cocky!
Throws another $2 into the chat. Man, you guys are being nice. Thank you, Captain. I'll get to your comments in just a second here. Kronos says, I'm not in it. Not sure what you mean. Squirrel Girl feet. Well, the existence of Squirrel Girl Scientific Lens is exactly why the people at Marvel Comics are freaking idiots. They genuinely think that Squirrel Girl was a good idea. Now, granted, it's true that there are girls that think Squirrel Girl is funny and cute and all that. But you know what my daughter likes? Deadpool. She thinks Squirrel Girl is stupid. All right. YouTube should auto-like a video if you watch 50% or more and don't dislike the video. Bird, that would be cheating. Phase 4, The Wokening. Yes, exactly. Darren says, I prefer Sam Wilson as Falcon, an original superhero character, rather than other Captain America. No, I get that. But I still like the passing of the shield, and I would still call him, what I would do in the MCU is I would still call him Falcon. He could say, hey, I may have Cap's shield, but I'm not Cap. I think Sam Wilson could work as Cap in the MCU, and I'm hopeful about the Falcon Winter Soldier show. Yeah, I actually think that that Falcon and Winter Soldier had good chemistry in their all too brief appearances together. Like, if you look at the way they are in Civil War together, I could definitely see them being on a TV show together because they hate each other, but they respect each other. T says, MCU Sony, talk about your rock in a hard place. It's just two hard places, as in the heads of these executives being asses. I wish the transition from Cat to Falcon had been more organic. It was kind of haphazardly tacked into the end of Endgame, but it should have been a standalone movie saying goodbye to Cap. I would like that too, Life with Matthew, but you got to be realistic about production. These movies cost hundreds of millions of dollars to produce nowadays, and and a movie called Passing the Torch or something would probably not be all that exciting. Luke says, according to statistics and modern data, the number of children in the world is peaking, and the world's population is expected to peak at about 11 billion of people circa 2100. Well, that's good to know, I suppose. Just checked Holland's Twitter, nothing. Yeah, I assume that Holland is going to stay quiet on this because I don't think he likes it any more than we do, but if he can't speak out against Sony or Marvel, those are the hands that feed him. And Darren says, I wouldn't be surprised if Tom Holland committed suicide right now. I wouldn't want that, but it wouldn't surprise me. I don't think it's that bad. Tom Holland seems like he's a little more stable than that. Does that mean I have to sub to your channel, Hector? Not sure what you're talking about. And Luke says, Super Chat number 2. You got it, Luke.
I'm a better female character than you.
You would be if you didn't spend all your time with that temper tantrum meme guy.
At least I'm not the one on a show with a questionable acronym.
Take it back.
No!
Yes.
Oops. Sorry to bother you.
And thank you, Luke, my good friend. And Peter says, and what does naked Aunt May think, Anti-Checker? Not happy. Happy. Yes, I get a Happy Hogan. Yeah, that's funny because, now Aunt May and Happy Hogan's relationship will be ended by this. Eric Draven says, good afternoon, Anti-Checker. How's your back, my friend? What do you think about the news of Disney cooking the books? I don't know the details on the Disney cooking the books thing. I don't know what is confirmed or what's rumor and all that, so I don't really have much comment on that. As far as the back, it sucks, but I am cautiously optimistic that we're actually going to get something done soon. This coming Monday, I get to go in to see the orthopedic surgeon to consult about possibly doing a partial knee replacement, which is, I'm hoping that they just do it because I'm so done with this. I would also accept Black Panther as the new face of the MCU since he's another Stan Lee co-creation. Well, Black Panther, I could, but I don't know. I do really like Black Panther in the MCU, but I don't see him as being really the center because he's more or less concerned with Wakanda, not the world. What makes you think that, Darren, about Tom Holland? Yeah, I don't know. I can understand why, actors tend to be an unstable lot. And, I mean, look at what happened with Heath Ledger. But I don't think Tom Holland is, at least the impression I get from him is that he's a little more strong than that. Wesley says, what I missed? No more Spider-Man. Yeah, Spider-Man, unfortunately, the talks apparently broke down between Sony and Marvel as far as renewing the Spider-Man deal, which means that Spider-Man will no longer be in the MCU unless they come to an agreement. And Darren says, because he was so into being in the MCU. I can understand that. I think he would be very disappointed. He might even have to deal with some depression. But suicidal, I think that's a bit much. Mike Richards says, greetings from Columbus, Ohio. Hey, Mike, how you doing? Hector says, man, I just cannot keep up here. Sorry, I'm so far behind. Answer, now that I remember correctly, he wanted more LGBT characters in the MCU, not less white males. I didn't remember that, but I think that's stupid. But, of course, every actor is going to say that because that's the flavor of the month right now, is to try and say that everybody needs to be LGBT. And, by the way, this is something that's kind of bugging me right now about the whole LGBT and women crap, right? Is that what the hell happened to good old-fashioned, race representation? All of a sudden, nobody gives a crap about black people or Asian people or Hispanic people. It's all about who they have sex with and what their gender is. That's all that matters. And I'm sorry, you know what? Black people have been discriminated against a whole lot more than LGBT people. Because you know what the difference is between being black in America and being LGBT in America? You cannot walk into a room and not have everybody instantly know that you're black. And so I am so sick and tired of people trying to say that this is more important.
I got him! Great hit! Don't get cocky.
And Rambling Canuck throws $5 in. Thank you so much, Rambling. I'll get to your comment in a minute. I'm sorry I'm so far behind, but I'm going on a tangent here because I really am sick of this. Look, I believe in equality. I believe in an egalitarian society. That's what I want, right? I want everybody to have equal rights, and but I also want everybody, and that means everybody, to have equal opportunity. Not not just whites, not just blacks, not just gays, not just straights, not just men, not just women. I think everybody should have equal rights. That being said, when right now you would swear, if you listen to these idiots in Hollywood, then you would think that everything is groovy except that poor women are still the property of men. They can't make a decent wage. They're being constantly oppressed. They're being, every woman on the planet is being raped 7 times a day. It's just horrifically bad for women right now. There are no strong women in movies and stuff for girls to look up to. It's just horrible. And what's even worse is every day in the streets of every city, every gay person is being beaten to a pulp. That it's just absolutely horrible that every person who is LGBT is constantly discriminated against. They can't get a home to live in. They can't buy a car. They can't get a job because everybody's picking on them because of their orientation, which you could only know if they tell it to you. Sorry. That's the end of my tirade. I'm sure that my channel will now be deleted by YouTube. Captain Spire throws $5 in. Thank you so much, Captain, and thank you for your patience while I went on my little tangent. It says, with people ultimately only believing what they want, what exactly can anyone really show to prove all these theories, even if there's evidence? That's an interesting statement. But the problem is, no, you can't prove any of that. All you can do is believe what you want to believe. And again, thank you, Captain Spire. And if you want a super chat or Uber chat reward, be sure to let me know. Darren says, "Entry, the interesting thing to see is how the MCU will ignore Spider-Man going forward." That is kind of, I'm curious to what they're going to do. According to Sony, Feige doesn't have time to produce a film that is not his. According to Sony, Feige doesn't have time to produce a film that is not his. Well, I don't know what Sony thinks of that, but I think Feige is the person who can tell what he has time to produce. And let's see. Crow says it is a bit loud. Yeah, well, let me know if it was a little softer the last time, because I did turn it down. The super chat volume is louder than your audio, but it's not like stupid loud. Okay. I like the Captain Kirk version of the Bird-O-Prey 5 blowing up better. Well, I'm actually working on, Darren, once I get this done, you guys will love it. I'm going to have like a series of Bird-O-Prey 5 videos for you guys. Things can be proven. It's just a level of belief. Well, here's the thing, though, Captain Spire. From a philosophical perspective, I would say the only thing that you can absolutely prove is self-existence. Other than that, you have to make certain assumptions, right? I have to assume that reality is what I perceive it to be, that this remote is a real physical thing, for example. If I can't prove that it is, because it's entirely possible that I'm a brain in a jar wired to a computer and I'm just being tricked into thinking that this remote is real. Hence the whole Matrix thing. But, and you can't disprove or prove that you're in the Matrix. Let's see. Marvel Black Widow cast Scarlett Johansson, David Harbour, Florence Poe, however you say that, Rachel Weisz, release date May 1st, 2020. Well, I'm not looking forward to the Black Widow film. I think it's a pointless movie. I truly do. I think it's really stupid that they announced the Black Widow film right after they kill Black Widow. That is just dumb. I agree, Ed Cherry. Why can't you leave some things alone? Yes. Mercer says, more people watch your stream than buy Fantastic Four. Right now, that's true. But Fantastic Four is an incredible legacy that Marvel has ruined. Marvel Comics. I think Kevin Feige believes that Marvel Now characters will work with normies. Unlike comic fans, they don't understand the history and will accept change without disagreement or awareness. They may believe that, but I think they're in for an unpleasant surprise. Because the Marvel movie phenomenon that's been going on for the last 10 years. While, yes, it's true that a lot of normies go to see the Marvel movies, guess what? What's driven those movies are the fans. What's made those movies incredible hits are the fans. Because you know what the fans do? People like myself that have had comic books since the freaking 70s, is we drag everyone we know to go see these movies. And then people go, wow, there really is something to this stuff. It's pretty good. And then we drag our other friends to go see it. We see the movie 10 times and we buy the DVD or the Blu-ray or the digital now. And we buy all the merchandise and all that crap. It's the fans that support the franchise. And if you piss on the fans, the franchise will die. Hey, nerds, and F Sony. Yeah. Bird was an hour behind yesterday. This is nothing. Well, I still don't like being this far behind because I don't know. I'm over 10 minutes behind. I don't like that. Kirk kicking BIRDOPREY, Kirk kicking BIRDOPREY's BIRDOPREY was better. I will. You guys. How was Epic Comment held for review? Because YouTube is stupid. Marvel.com says Marvel Eternals cast Angelina Jolie, Richard Madden, Kumani. Release date November 6th. I'm not sure why you're putting that information in there, Dan. Although the Eternals, I think, is going to be a very yawn fest movie. Captain Spire throws another $2 in. Thank you, Captain. Says, hey, Tricker, how are you? Anything to pray for? Romans 5:3-5. Thank you, my friend. Well, at this point, it's just right now I'm in a holding pattern until Monday. I went to the doctor this morning, but it was unrelated. I was going in for a sleep study thing because I have sleep apnea. half of people have sleep apnea. But I have a CPAP machine, but the CPAP machine is 10 years old and needs to be replaced, so I need to do a new sleep study, so I was in there for that this morning. But I won't hear anything new on the back/knee until next Monday. The good news is that the insurance thing is cleared through September 11th. So as long as I have something definitive before then, I'm okay. Darren says, it makes sense, cold logical sense, for Disney to tell Marvel to stop publishing Spider-Man or Fantastic Four because it promotes another studio's films, especially with how much the comics sell. Well, except that it's still money in the bank, and eventually, those characters will eventually go back to Marvel. Might not be for 50 years, but eventually they will. Marvel wanted to ditch X-Men in favor of Inhumans, but didn't go well. Yeah, that was a horrible idea. You say crappy for Fox and Marvel movies, and I say Logan. Well, Logan was the exception that proves the rule. I'm sorry, Peter, but if you look at X-Men X2, X3, X-Men Origins, and let's see, Days of Future Past and Apocalypse, I would dare say that the average for the X-Men films is crap. And if you look at Fantastic Four, the average is well below crap. So, yeah. BIRDOPREY, what time is your Jaloja today? The Super Chat sounded quieter that time. Good. Squirrel Girl, she beat Dr. Doom. Yeah, Squirrel Girl apparently beat everybody. I think I heard someone say that she beat Galactus at one point, which is just stupid. Do not disparage Squirrel Girl. She was awesome until SJW Marvel. Squirrel Girl's a Ditko creation like Spider-Man and Doctor Strange. I will diss Squirrel Girl, Darren, because you know what? The concept is stupid. I'm sorry. The concept is stupid. And it's not, and I don't know at what point in time she beat Thanos versus they went all SJW. I don't care. A girl that can control squirrels fighting supervillains that are cosmic beings and holding her own is stupid. And I have no interest in ever seeing Squirrel Girl ever. If they bring Squirrel Girl into the MCU, it's going to be painful to watch. Thomas says, breaking news, Turkestan just brought Greenland. Oh, the deal went through? Excellent. I didn't know that. So that's cool. And Darren sent me a picture of what Squirrel Girl looked like before the whole SJW thing. But here's the thing. Okay, so here's the picture, and you can see obviously that Squirrel Girl taking on Wolverine in that particular picture, and I'm assuming that's Luke Cage and Jessica Jones in the bottom frame then. But here's the thing. That's still stupid. It's still a girl wearing a freaking squirrel tail leaping at Wolverine. My understanding is she has no real superpowers. She's just controls squirrels. It's just dumb. And, I understand some people like it, and that's fine. But to me, that just seems like a really dumb concept. Marvel to release movie on February 12, 2021, Shang-Chi and the Legends of the Ten Rings. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. Rock Solid says, bird cheating, the hell you say, what's next? Water is wet, yes. Marlena says, ew, Squirrel Girl, Storm is my favorite female superhero. I like Storm a whole lot more than Squirrel Girl, yeah. I like Storm, although, if I had to pick a favorite female superhero, probably the Invisible Woman, followed by the Monica Rambeau Captain Marvel. Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness is coming on May 7th, 2021. I'm looking forward to that one, but yeah. Captain Spider says, what do you want? A story? Yes. Rock Salt says, hey, Trigger, so I signed up for this shooting of bits this morning. Going to start uploading content tonight. How do you monetize? It is a tip jar based, or do they run ads like YouTube? So you signed up for the shooting of bits. Oh, the shooting of, I was like, what are you talking about? So yeah, on you do not monetize on shooting of bits. they monetize. If you can allow them to put ads on your video, but they get 100% of the revenue. You cannot monetize there, except that people can donate to you through their website, which is like similar to a super chat. Let's see. I think more people are eaten by dogs than cats. That's only because of the size of their mouths. 51 watching, 25 likes. Come on, man. Yeah, I tell you, Joseph, a bunch of people that I know it's a lot of work, but you can do it. Reach over and drag that mouse over to the like button and then click on it. That's all you got to do. Adding Scarlet Witch to Strange 2. Why I fear they will take the why I fear will take the protagonism of the film. I'll tell you, as far as the Scarlet Witch being in Doctor Strange 2, could be good, could be bad. If they're going the whole woke thing, it's going to be bad. If they're just doing it because Scarlet Witch needs someone who understands magic to help her hone and control her powers, that could be good. And Rock Solid says, don't forget people smash the like button, share via social, set to live chat, donate if you can, subscribe, turn on your mic before you stream. BIRDOPREY 5 cheats, and down with Karoga. And that is absolutely true. BIRDOPREY constantly cheats. He's a horrible person. I'm only going to read the ones addressed to me because I'm so far behind. Luke says, more on that. The current food production is enough to feed 12 billions of people. We're actually wasting food. We won't be soon. So yeah, good news. And another dent in the panic cult. Darren says, in the comics, Black Panther became leader of the Avengers. Well, I know, but I'm just saying, as far as the characters we see him in the MCU, it doesn't seem likely for him. Antrager, Groot should be the face and voice of the MCU. Well, it would make the most sense. Peter says, Tom Holland, even though he's excitable, is pretty stable. That's the impression I get. Mrs. Andy Trekker says, okay, babe, I see a brother can't get a break in your universe. What? What are you talking about, babe? Or what did you talk about 15 minutes ago? Rambling Canucks with his $5 Canadian Super Chat. Thank you so much, Rambling, and I apologize for taking so long to get to it. Says, have my back doctor today. Oh, joy. Time for test. That hurt. Oh, joy. Oh, joy. Hope your back is doing better than mine as of late. I'll tell you, Rambling Canuck, you and I could probably do an entire live stream just about how much our backs suck. That's true. And number 21, you got it, my friend. Well, let's hit the right button.
And pork. It is with cooking with the pork and the pork. Okay, with the cool, and we're gonna make the kelp. Here's bring out the kelp.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, the kelp, get it in the pot.
Get in the pot here.
And then we stir the kelp. That's a good kelp.
Okay.
So, I get it now. So, Mrs. Anti-Trekker was talking about the fact that Black Panther, I said, shouldn't be the leader of the MCU. Well, you know, now, babe, you know I love Black Panther. I thought that was an awesome freaking movie. I'm just saying his character doesn't fit that because he needs to be worried about Wakanda first. You know, Wakanda forever. All right, so Josh says, just like Alexander wants MCU Aunt May naked, we want Mrs. Anti-Trekker on the stream. Well, keep working on it. BIRDOPREY says, Anti-Trekker, I had a dream that I was oppressing women. Where do I turn myself in? All you got to do, here's what you do, Bird. On your stream today, simply invite all the women to leave you comments about what a horrible misogynist you are, and do whatever they tell you to do. It's racist not to be racist. It's sexist to not be sexist. That is true these days. Wow, there's some good ranting you got going there. Thank you, Kronos. You're right, Anti-Trekker. If you could see what sexuality they are, if you can't see, I think is what you meant, what sexuality they are, how can people discriminate? Good question. And Captain Spire says 13? Okay, now I'm not sure why you said it quite like that, but we can put 13 on.
I am Lore Reloaded, here to get this entire thing started here for Lore.
You just tripped over something that was so obvious.
And Epic Beard is absolutely right. BIRDOPREY 5 has confirmed that he oppresses women. So You guys should all mention that on his stream today. Feige has a whole bunch of new properties to produce. If Sony keeps 95% of Spidey profits, then why would Feige work hard on their film? No, I understand, and I'm not opposed to Marvel getting a decent chunk of the profits. I think it's stupid, though, for these two companies to act like 5-year-olds. Feige probably already wrote some of the movie on Trigger, but if it involves Happy, Fury, etc., yep. Streamlabs video was softer, but the regular super chat was still loud. All right, I'll need to work on that. And let's see here. Josh says there's a rumor on Nerdrotic that BIRDOPREY 5 was bought by Sony and will be forced to dress like Hooker lore. I'm pretty sure that that's not just a rumor. I think that is true. Darth Maul says, but wait, they killed Han. It worked well for him. Yeah. Because Spider-Man was introduced in Civil War Anti-Tracker, that's a start. I'm sure that was relevant to what I said 15 minutes ago, so I have no idea what that's referring to. Peter says, great news about the insurance. Yeah, it only took him 3 months to approve the claim. Wow, Anti-Tracker, you're a squirrelist. I am. I actually do have a problem with squirrels, and I'll tell you why. I worked for years for Comcast, and I was a lineman. I was up there on the telephone poles, running lines and doing stuff up there. And I will tell you, everybody looks at squirrels and they're like, oh, they're so cute and adorable and precious. Let's give them a peanut, whatever, right? Squirrels. When you're up there on their turf, they are aggressive little demons. And so I was actually attacked by squirrels while I was up on a telephone pole, and I was batting them away with my hard hat. No, forget it. I do not like squirrels. I can tell by what you're saying you've never read any Squirrel Girl stories. Of course I haven't read any Squirrel Girl stories. It's freaking Squirrel Girl, Darren. The concept is stupid to me. Now, she could be a great character. It doesn't change the fact that I think that, just like I get it. Some people see something about Batman and they're like, oh, some idiot dresses up like a bat and fights crime. How stupid is that, right? And they don't want to watch it. That's fine. Well, I say some idiot dressed up like a squirrel. Yeah, no thanks. Oh, wait, she can Aquaman the squirrels and control them? Wow, that makes it exciting. No, thank you. So fighting ants, fine. Fighting squirrels is dumb. Really, Ant-Trigger? Well, except that the ants didn't defeat Thanos. The ants are really more or less just help him get things done. They don't, except for the stinging ants, they don't do a lot. So long as it's just the gray and the black squirrels that die. I'm not sure why you say that. Well, at least Ant-Man and his ants didn't take on Thanos by themselves. Exactly. She does have PETA on her side, I guess so. Show your audience the second image I sent showing her after the SJW Marvel. All right, let me see. Let's see. So this is what she looks like later. And, the art style here is just so crap. And I understand that this is just like a lot of what they do. So that's, I guess, what Squirrel Girl looks like now. But here's the thing. Aside from the fact that the art style is obviously far more primitive, the basic design is the same. It's just a different style on it. The name Squirrel Girl sounds like it has potential. I never heard of her, but she has the skills of a squirrel. Yeah. Well, you have fun with that, Peter. You have fun. Yosef says, yesterday I rewatched Endgame. I actually liked the all-female scene in the final battle, and Captain Marvel was not that horrible. Without all the talk about it, I would not even care. Well, I will say this. I still think the all-female scene in the final battle was cringe-inducing to me, because it seemed really stupid that none of the guys showed up. None of them. What were they doing? Like, was Fat Thor sitting on a keg, tipping back a Pilsner or something and passing a drink over to Captain America and Iron Man? And I mean, what were they doing while all the girls got together to save the Infinity Gauntlet? Because keep in mind, the Infinity Gauntlet was the center of the battle. Everybody should have been focused on the Infinity Gauntlet. But no, apparently only the chicks were. I didn't like that. Now, as far as the Captain Marvel, no, I did think that they used Captain Marvel appropriately in the film, considering they had to use her, but she is stupidly OP. What are they going to do with her character in Captain Marvel 2? She's unbeatable, so I don't care. I'm not interested. Any story you're going to have is just going to have her figuring out who the bad guy is so she can go one-punch them. And Kronos asking Darren if he wants to ask me to check Discord. No. Darren will blow a gasket. If Strange becomes Wanda's new love interest, I'm fine with that. That seems a little odd. I think she's a little young for him, but I think more apprentice. I think that would be cool. And let's see. So I saw someone said something to Mrs. Antrigger. Did she post another comment? Because if I missed it, I don't see it though. So who knows? My interest in Squirrel Girl would be piqued if she looked like old school Mrs. Marvel body with the tail. That would look better. If straight, let's see. Zintac M. I don't know if I've seen you before, Zintac. So if not, hey, welcome. Thoughts on The Matrix 4? Yeah, dumb idea. Although here's the thing about The Matrix. You could do a million sequels and everything, and The Matrix is one of those franchises that you could do a zillion sequels and have no problem. Why? Because all you have to do is say it's in a different Matrix, and you can do anything you want. If you can't get Keanu Reeves, no problem. Cast somebody else as the one. So that's so I will wait and see what. I haven't heard anything on it other than that they're going to do it. And so if it's a good story, awesome. If it's not, pass. Stan Lee says Wachowski's had it, lost it, never to have it again. Yeah, that seems they've tried, but they've failed over and over and over to recapture the glory of the Matrix. How is Antricker going to keep up with the chat if he expands his YouTube numbers? Well, good question. But if I have to, I would start doing what some of the other channels have done, where you do makeup sessions where you just record videos of responding to chat. Personally, I think everyone is just a little racist. Well, in a sense, I think everybody is prejudiced, Darren, not necessarily racist. Keep in mind, racist specifically means that you are, that you feel that one racial group is superior to another. That's racism. Prejudice just means that you see a person of a specific group and you have a preconceived notion about that person because they're in a specific group, not necessarily reflecting inferiority or superiority in that other group. So everybody, I do believe, is prejudiced. Not everybody is racist. If you or Josh ever need a voice for Super Chats, let me know. Okay. Oh, you like doing some voiceover for the animations? Very cool. Zachary says, hey, Trigger, I have to agree with you. It's disappointing that Spider-Man is going back to Sony. Sony has not done a good job with Spidey, but the MCU has. Exactly. And Captain Spire is laughing hysterically. I'm not sure why. Rambling Canuck says, LOL, we could call the stream Our Backs Suck, but the doctors are worse. There we go. That's the name. We should do that, Rambling Canuck. We absolutely should. Your animations are way louder than your voice, Mike. I'm constantly having to adjust my speaker volume. I will try to mess with that, Darren. It's a tough one because each animation has its own individual volume control, but I'll try bringing them all down a little bit and see on the next stream if that's bad. Han isn't dead. He'll be a semi-force ghost. That would be stupid. I wonder if Marvel Studios will recast Tom Holland as another character like the Human Torch. That would be funny if they did, but I think Tom Holland is still under contract with Sony to be Spider-Man. To quote Doug from Up, Squirrel! Yes, I would love to see Squirrel Girl versus Doug. That would be a movie I would watch. BIRDOPREY says, breaking news, Turkestan leaders afraid of squirrels. No, I defeated the squirrels. I am not afraid of them. And in fact, so there you go. I defeated an attack. I had a small horde of squirrels attacking me on the lines when I was up on 20 feet in the air, and you had nowhere to go. And so I defeated this horde of squirrels, and a similar horde of squirrels defeated Thanos. So I am more powerful than Thanos. Red squirrels are not aggressive. Well, these were not red squirrels. These were California. I think I don't know if they were gray squirrels or black squirrels. I'm no good at identifying the different breeds. Okay, you have a squirrel phobia. Your opinion of Squirrel Girl makes sense now. You poor man. You poor man. I don't have a squirrel phobia. I have a natural inclination to dislike squirrels because I know that they are actually much more aggressive than people think. Why would a real estate agent be up a telephone pole? Because I'm not a real estate agent. SJW Marvel's version of Squirrel Girl defeated Galactus and Thanos, not the real Squirrel Girl. Well, she is the real Squirrel Girl. And Captain Spire says, no, don't. And then, I wish I had caught that at the time because I have no idea what you were reacting to. Breaking news, Anti-Trigger proves Squirrel Girl's Aquaman's daughter. Yes, that is entirely possible. And Ant-Man cannot defeat Thanos by shrinking and going up his ass and expanding into giant form. Well, I know people have said that he couldn't do it, but I still think he could. It might kill Ant-Man in the process, but I think he could defeat Thanos that way. At least in CCG, he was force sensitive. Well, I don't think Han should be force sensitive. I really don't. It's okay, Trigger. I won't mention squirrels or Squirrel Girl ever again. I wouldn't want you to piss yourself on live stream. LOL. Are gophers okay? Yeah, gophers are fine. In fact, you should see Mrs. Anti-Trekker. You want to really see some scary stuff. Watch Mrs. Anti-Trekker deal with moles tearing up her yard. Holy crap. She goes from the sweetest, most beautiful woman on the planet to outright serial killer. And like that. So yes, she actually went out there and killed the mole with a shovel, I think it was. So yeah, a gopher is actually the Richardson ground squirrel. I didn't know that. If Squirrel Girl was in the MCU, she should be a joke. Exactly. And Mrs. Anti-Trekker is waving at Kronos. As long as it says Dr. Alex, that's okay. Scott Yeoman says, Anti-Trekker, would you like Squirrel Girl if her origin story was being bitten by a radioactive rabbit squirrel, then she could possibly take on heavy hitters in Marvel? No, I think the concept is dumb. I just do. And here's the thing. I'm sure there are people that love Squirrel Girl, and that's all fine and dandy. It just doesn't work for me. I don't want cutesy superheroes, all right? I don't care for cute. Right? That's one of the reasons that I don't get as into anime as some people, because when they do what do they call it? The chibi stuff, I find that grating. Cute stuff is fine and has its place, but I don't want cute superheroes. Let's see. Marvel is going so woke, it will be stupid and... Let's see. Marvel is going to go so woke, it will be stupid. Endgame was the end of the true MCU. I'm seriously beginning to fear that, Godspeed. I really am. Mrs. Anti-Trekker, please have Joshua make a video of Anti-Trekker's hatred for squirrels. Oh, man. Squirrel Girl will always go for your nuts. Oh, crap, I forgot I had a video scheduled. Be right back. Need to share. I'm so stupid. No problem, Rock Solid. And now I got lost again because the stupid thing. All right, yeah, the MCU versions of Thor and Hulk were nerfed from the comics and for good dramatic reasons, not Carol Danvers, though. Exactly, and that makes no sense because honestly, and while I don't give a crap, and I've never read any of the modern SJW version of Captain Marvel, but Thor and Hulk are two of the heaviest hitters in Marvel, right? It's particularly, I mean, for just as far as raw physical power, Hulk is #1, right? And so they tone them down, like you said, for good dramatic reasons. If Hulk was as powerful in the MCU as he is in the comics, there'd be zero drama, right? And however, the fact that they make it so that heavy-duty munitions could actually hurt him, and you see Hulk get cut occasionally and stuff like that by quote-unquote normal attacks, then that makes it so that at least you get the feeling that Hulk could be beaten. He's just very, very hard to beat. Same thing with Thor. But yeah, Captain Marvel takes a headbutt from the most powerful being in the universe, and the most powerful being in the universe gets a headache from it. Endgame was a good ending. The stars even signed the credits. Yeah, they did rip that off from Star Trek 6, though. Peter says, Tony, Thor, and Rogers were concentrating on Thanos anti-tracker. Quill was with Gamora. So where was Drax, Hulk, etc.? Well, they were having a poker party, apparently. But yeah, exactly. As far as if you had, like, for example, while they're doing the attempt to run the gauntlet, right? If they show that Thor and Tony and Steve were all still engaged with Thanos, fine. And I don't remember. I'd have to rewatch the battle to really get a grip on where they were. But where was Ant-Man? Because Ant-Man was a badass in that battle, even though he was mostly in the background. Holy crap, watch what he does. Ant-Man is the most powerful member of the Avengers by far, if you pay attention to that battle. He literally stomps uber super powered villains to death. So yeah, I would dare say Ant-Man should be considered the most powerful of the Avengers. However, they all just don't show up, but Wasp was there. Oh, someone has cut Captain Marvel from the battle scene of Endgame and replaced her with Superman. That's funny. Your files are behind you. Yeah, I know. I forgot to change that before I started. Let's see. The Matrix even had an animated version. Yeah, the Animatrix is actually not bad. When I see somebody with dyed hair, different colors, I think SJW rather than a person expressing themselves. Well, that's a sad thing. It's like, I like some of the crazy dyed hair colors on people. You know, my daughter tends to do that a lot, but yeah, unfortunately, it's become a symbol of SJW-ness. Chrono says, Enter, what if you just hate the human race? Well, then you are a sad, sad person. Captain MKG's in the house. Says, good morning, afternoon, all. What are they going to recreate next? In the next 10 years, we're going to be seeing The Matrix 9. Yeah. Racist means you assign characteristics to someone based on their race. It goes both positive and negative. No, racist specifically means that you feel that one racial group is superior or inferior to another. And so that's the actual definition of the term racist. A racist believes that group A is better than group B because they are in a specific racial group. Prejudice simply means that you assign characteristics to someone based on their race. Prejudice literally means prejudging. Call the stream back to back. Oh, that's not bad, Darth Maul. That is not bad. Epic Beard says, add a third to the Bad Back podcast. My doctors have offered little help so far. I tell you, Epic, I've been battling this for 3 months now, and I feel like it's been 3 years. Well, squirrels are a superior race in the galaxy than humans. Okay. In England once, Walker's Crisp did squirrel flavor. That would be hilarious. FYI, Bird-of-Prey has an alpaca phobia. Well, Bird-of-Prey is actually an alpaca. Most people don't realize that. And that's why he's afraid people will find out. And no, don't get Mrs. Anttricker mad. No, you do not want to get her mad. Darren says, Anttricker, I think if Ant-Man would get crushed, he tried to re-enlarge within Thanos due to... I think Ant-Man would get crushed if he tried to re-enlarge within Thanos due to Thanos' resilience. I don't, and I'll tell you why. Because Ant-Man managed to grow and lift the entire Avengers complex off of Hulk. So, sorry, I think that, yeah. I think that's it. I would rather watch the movie Up than ever see Captain Marvel. I agree. Mrs. Anttricker says, I'll tell him, Kronos. Okay. Oh, about Joshua doing the video of the squirrels? Oh, no. I wish Anttricker would do other videos besides chats. Is all that on YouTube? Is this all that YouTube is for now? Well, I'll tell you me, and I appreciate what you're saying there. And it's entirely on me. I've been with this whole back thing for the last couple of months. I have been besides being in a lot of pain, I have been dealing with a pretty severe case of depression. And I'm not saying, oh, I felt the bummers. I mean, like, I've been in therapy. I am actually diagnosed as being what they call moderate depression. Depression is mild, moderate, or severe. Severe depression is like suicidal, non-functional, right? Moderate is what most lay people would call severe, and mild is what most lay people would call moderate. But yeah, and that's why I haven't gotten much out, because it's been with this depression hanging over me. It's been basically impossible for me to do a normal video. And I'm just now starting to, like yesterday I made some real progress on the next Galaxy Quest video. Stuff is going to be changing very, very soon around here. And I appreciate your patience, and I do appreciate that sentiment. Darth Maul, squirrels are rats dressed in brand name clothes. I agree. Darren says, I'm with Mrs. Antichecker on the mole thing. I love killing those disgusting things with special traps and explosives. Well, you see, you're not as personal with it as Mrs. Antichecker, because Mrs. Antichecker, she doesn't need traps and explosives. She goes out there and chops their frickin' heads off. I'm glad I'm not a mole, Mrs. Antichecker. Yes. Mrs. Antichecker, hope you're having a great day so far. Yes, me too. So is Mrs. Antichecker the shoveler? Mrs. Antichecker would defeat the shoveler in hand-to-hand combat. That's how deadly she is wielding that shovel. The shoveler has not killed anybody. I saw Mrs. Antichecker brutally kill a mole. Darren says, I think Infinity War was the actual end of the MCU. Unfortunately, I think you may be right, which is really depressing to me, considering they're about to bring in the Fantastic Four, which I've been waiting for 10 years. In reality, Squirrel Girl would run in front of a car and get hit. Yes, that is oh man, that would be a great super chat for Joshua to do. It's like, and now the latest Marvel superhero, Squirrel Girl, and then she just like runs out in the road and gets flattened. I think that the smile in Endgame was CGI, just like her butt double. That would be funny if that's true. And Doctor Strange was holding back water. That's true. Doctor Strange, we do know what he was doing. Just stay away from the neighborhood in my city called Squirrel Hill. Lots of them there. I will avoid Squirrel Hill. Marvel attacks Thanos heavily. Thanos responds, all that for an aspirin. Yeah. Ant-Man also punched a Leviathan. Yes, and I love that shot where Ant-Man just decks a Leviathan, showing that Ant-Man's punch hits harder than Hulk's. Because if you, and I actually did, I may do a video analysis of it, but to show you guys, but when Hulk punches the Leviathan continues to push Hulk back a little bit before the Leviathan flips over Hulk. When Ant-Man punches the Leviathan immediately changes course. And Ant-Man is not pushed back at all. So Ant-Man hits harder. If I'm going to a party and I bring grape soda because I know there'll be some black people there, I'm being racist. No, you're being insensitive. You're being ignorant, and you're being prejudiced. Racist would be if you go to a party, you see a black person, you say, "Oh, well, there's nasty people here." Racism is specifically about one group being elevated above another. Prejudice is making assumptions about groups of people. I don't think that, for example, if you gave Bridget a grape soda because she's black. Now, first of all, she'd probably laugh because she actually does like grape soda. But then, and so she would accept it. However, if you were giving her the grape soda because you'll tell you, oh, I got some grape soda and fried chicken for you. Oh, and here's some watermelon. You just go the whole 9 yards. There's nothing about eating grape soda, fried chicken, or watermelon that inherently makes you a better or worse person. So it is not racist to do that. It is, however, prejudice that you're assuming that they like these things based on their genetic characteristics. The interesting thing is, and this is funny, because so they say black people like fried chicken, right? Do you know who else likes fried chicken? Everybody. Everybody likes fried chicken. You know who likes watermelon? Pretty much everybody, right? You know who likes grape soda? Pretty much everybody. So, whatever. What if female Thor is actually different, a different universe Thor, like the multiverse, and our Thor is still Chris? I could see something like that, but I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do yet. We are all prejudiced, some a lot more than others. That's true. Todd says, BIRDOPREY know the difference between an alpaca or a llama or a turkey? No. Bird can't be an alpaca. Alpacas have long necks. Well, bird is the rarest of creatures. The South American necklace alpaca. Godspeed says, "How you feeling, man? Physically, I'm a wreck. Mentally, I'm actually feeling relatively optimistic right now." Godspeed, I broke in January. I genuinely broke. Didn't get out of bed for near 3 weeks. My friend helped me through it. Yeah, I'll tell you, severe or moderate depression can be extremely difficult to deal with. I have a dictionary from 1979. The definition of racism has apparently altered over the years. Assigning characteristics, good or bad, to a race used to be the definition. Fair enough. Even your shirt is depressed, but we are here for you. No, shirt is not depressed. It says, if I want your opinion, I'll remove the duct tape. It's more aggressive than depressed. Let's see. Mrs. Ancher playing whack-a-mole with Dr. Alex and Bird. That would be funny. Let's see. What? Well, hold on. The chat just went nuts on me. Right there. Read that. When do we get our next Spider-Man Origins movie? Hopefully not too soon. Chrono says, "Yay, Mystery Men!" Yes, Mystery Men, the superhero movie that was way ahead of its time. So I'm supposed to assume that Mole Man versus Mrs. Antitrekker, least favorite Fantastic. Mole Man is Mrs. Antitrekker's least favorite Fantastic Four villain. Probably. I would dare say, though, that Mrs. Antitrekker would handily defeat Mole Man with her mighty shovel. I am moderately depressed, Antitrekker. I can get lethargic, but that has to do with my lack of sleep and pain. Yeah. And the thing is that they all kind of build on each other. Like depression, if you're in pain, like, and there are actually psychiatrists and psychologists that just specialize in people that deal with chronic pain. If you're in pain for an extended period of time, it will get you depressed because it is impossible to not be constantly drugged down by the fact that you are never, ever comfortable. And that's what I've been dealing with, and it just kind of came to a head. And fortunately, the therapist I've been seeing, which is hilarious because she's actually helped me in two things. She's helping me deal with my own mental attitude about the pain and stuff, but she's also helped soften my opinion of Captain Marvel because she looks a lot like Brie Larson. Darth Maul says, "The Mrs. is Conan the Barbarian of mole killing." Yes, she absolutely is. Captain MKG is waving at Miss Ancher. Wesley says, "Ancher, you have us jerk nerds from all over the world, and we listen to every boring word you say." I know, it's amazing. Doesn't make any sense, but thank you. Miss Antrekker playing whack-a-mole with Dr. Alex and Bird. I think I read that, but yes, that would be funny to watch. I could just see her with her shovel and Dr. Alex and Bird dying horrible deaths. I've been severely depressed. It's tough, but you can make it. If you need to sound off, we're here for you. We're here for you in the good and bad. Thank you, Schromer. I appreciate that. And I know that you guys feel that way. And that's, I've been, even though I've been woefully inadequate in my video production, I've tried not to miss any live streams because you guys keep me going. And I mean, I absolutely mean that. You guys help me on some of the worst days. And you guys had no idea how bad the day really was, where before the live stream, I was literally sitting at my desk just like this for an hour, you know, and just unable to function. And then I get on the live stream and you guys, somebody says something stupid that makes me laugh, and it always helps. I disagree on the Ant-Man Leviathan punch idea of yours. The reason why Ant-Man's completely stopped the Leviathan because Ant-Man weighed more and Hulk and punched downward. You know what? Here's the thing. Okay, so Hulk. Well, we'll do an analysis of it, Darren. I'll tell you, we'll do a straight up analysis of it and see if we can figure that out. Godspeed, do you see the Fluffy's racist gift basket he gave to his friend? Yeah, I love that whole routine. That was hilarious. Chrono says, "I like watermelon and fried chicken." Well, of course, everybody likes watermelon and fried chicken. Mrs. Antitrekker likes watermelon and fried chicken, although, you know, she doesn't have it much because of her diabetes. But yeah, I hate grape soda, I hate watermelon, I hate chicken on the bone. Well, Godspeed, that's because you're Irish. And let's see, don't forget, smash the like button, share via social, set to live chat, donate if you can, subscribe, turn your mic on before you stream it down with Turtistan. You're welcome, Bird. Schrober says, hey, Mrs. Antchecker, scourge of the moles. Yes. I'm more of a Mr. Pibb guy, says Scientific. I'm more of a as far as soft drinks, I love Mellow Yellow and Coke Zero. Mutant Green Panda says, I've been told on good authority that the definition of racism is actually being white. Well, that would be the SJW definition of racism, except that it's actually specifically being a white male, a white heterosexual male. Joseph says, I thought I was black, so no, I just like food. And funny thing is, if it's not explained from you, I would not even get it. Ew, grape soda, I'm a racist. Well, yes, you are. Assuming that black people like grape soda, watermelon, and fried chicken is actually a racial trope, and to have them together, you're either pregnant or stupid. I don't know, fried chicken with grape soda and then watermelon for dessert. And that could be a typical picnic, really. Andrew, I'm not going to argue the definition of racism with the head of my mixed race, family. I accept what you're saying is the current truth. No worries, Darren. And I'm just going by what I looked up when I did a video on it some time back about racism, and so I looked up what the actual definition of racism was for that video. I mean, who would have fried chicken with watermelon sauce? Well, nobody, I guess. Godspeed Aspen saying how she's doing, although I don't know if she's still on the stream or not. I'm now hoping Universal pulls the Hulk out of their MCU deal and makes a proper film. Yeah, that's not going to happen. You know that. Trek Revere says, I thought it was Superman versus the Mole Men. Well, no, it's Superman versus the Mole Men. However, Mole Man appeared in Fantastic Four #1. Nerd Rock! Nerds! Says Kronos. Thomas says, then you should stream 24 hours. You guys, what do you want me to stream for 24 hours? What would I even do for 24 hours on a stream? I'm sure Ant-Man did a right hook. I'll get the footage I'm telling you, I'm going to have to look at it and do a video on it. We're here for you. Some financially, others ears for you to rant to. Thank you, Wes. Wasn't Mole Man the name of the Incredibles 2 villain? Wait, that was the anti-miner. It was the underminer. Close. Super strength can only let you do so much. For example, Hulk picking up an object that weighs more than him and swinging it like a club isn't realistic since it weighs more than 20% of his body weight. Well, we're not talking realism here, Darren. We're talking superheroes and and all that. So, but as far and I understand what you're saying. Hulk might technically be stronger than Ant-Man. We've not seen a bench pressing competition between the two of them. However, what I said was Ant-Man hits harder. Not necessarily that he's stronger, but a punch from Ant-Man would do more damage than a punch from Hulk. Coke Zero unsubbing. Okay. Sorry. I love potatoes. I keep joking when my cousin about it. I get exhausted when I learned. I get excited when I learned of potato bread. I drink flavored water. Rarely drink Coke. Well, that you're Irish. Good afternoon. I just saw an article from the UK Daily Mail talks about YouTube removing robot fighting videos because they were deemed animal abuse by the algorithm. Wow. I'm not surprised, but wow. Peter says, separately, with a drink of grape soda and checker is fine, but fried chicken with watermelon sauce. Well, I didn't say watermelon sauce. That's just weird. And checker, I wish I could have all of you over for a large airsoft game, Turdistan versus Kuroga. Who else likes airsoft? Well, airsoft is cool, but considering the bird is bedridden and I have a bad back, it would not be the most exciting game in the world. Bird would it would be hilarious though. That would be something that honestly, if I had $1 million to spend on making a live action video just for fun, I would do it. I would get Bird, set up a hospital bed in the middle of the woods and have him holding an airsoft gun, just looking around. And then I'm crawling, going, trying to get, yeah. So let's see. And Chrono says, Miss Sandchecker, I thought I was an awesome lurker. Yeah, she is a lurker extraordinaire. In fact, like last night after the live stream, I was coming downstairs to tell her all about it. She watched the entire live stream, didn't leave a single comment. So, what could you do for a 24-hour stream? Dance, monkey, dance. Yeah, that's not going to happen. However, you know, I have between now and September 11th, I may do some kind of marathon stream between now and then. Maybe, actually, you know what I'll probably do is that once I have the surgery scheduled, then maybe a day or two before the surgery, do a marathon stream so that when I go into the hospital, I'm so tired that I'm not thinking about surgery. Benny Hill reboot in the works called Betty Hill. In Laura's 24-hour stream in November, you should go over to him and duct tape him to his chair. We see how long it takes him for him to free himself. And also, I'm the one who asked him to call you. It was you that had. Oh, I tell you, I would have. When I get to Ireland, I am going to punch you in the face. No, I shouldn't say that because YouTube will shut me down saying I'm threatening people. So I'm not going to punch you in the face, but I will shake your hand. We'll shake hands, but I'm going to use your face instead of your hand when we shake hands for that phone call. Some people who do, because I actually had to work that morning. That was not a good day. Some people who do long-term streams to charity. Yeah, I know. Laura does it every year for a charity called Extra Lives, and I have helped him with it a couple of times. Whenever I'm available for it, I do it. But this would be a charity to just help me. Enter, in the comics, Hulk takes Giant Man apart because Giant Man's size is a disadvantage against someone so much stronger and so much smaller. Hulk fights huge monsters all the time. Yeah, I know, and he does in the MCU. Hulk fought frickin' Surtur in Ragnarok. And Surtur is bigger than Giant Man. 24-hour stream, easy at trigger with watch all Discovery, drink, get sober, drink again, hit the bag, wash, rinse, repeat. Oh, man. How many episodes are there of Discovery? That would be interesting to do, like, to try to watch a Discovery marathon. The problem is that I couldn't have the sound up for you guys to hear, so most of the stream would be me going, nah! But, of course, some people would like that. A 24-hour live stream would mostly be you just sleeping or playing the Super Chats. Very true. Just answering a question with, well, you're Irish makes it all go away. Well, no, but you see, the thing is that when it comes to Godspeed, that is the answer to most things. And let's see. Hey, Iron Wolf is in the house. How you doing, my friend? Sorry, I'm so far behind. Actually, I'm starting to catch up, which is good because I got to wrap up here because Auntie's got her training class in less than an hour. 24-hour, see. Oh, 24-hour bed live stream. There we go. Nerds don't punch. That's true. We more slap. In the MCU, Scott Lang's alternative form of Giant Man gives him additional strength, which increases relative to his growth, making him capable of handling immensely large objects. Very true. Godspeed says, "You will hug me violently." Yes, that's a good way to put it. Such as buildings or aircraft carriers, as witnessed in Captain America: Civil War. Due to this, Lang is capable of becoming among the strongest individuals in the MCU. I think he is the strongest individual in the MCU when he's at full size. Darren says, once I had a college professor, upon seeing my last name, asked me if I was good with crowds. The implication was that I was a German from the 1940s. Well, that's just mean. Godspeed says, Kronos and Trigger, he didn't sound sober. Okay. Not sure where that came from. And Wesley says, there's once a guy on YouTube that is in a wheelchair. His community built him a tanked track looking wheelchair with 2 micro guns on it. It looks scary. Very cool. I would, I've said this before, but yeah, there's actually a brand of wheelchairs that have tank tracks on them and stuff. They're actually pretty cool. And I said, if I ever got to my channel was like Nerdrotic side and I was making more money than I knew what to do with, one of the things I would do is get that chair for Bird. Because I would love to get him and call it his Jeep. I wasn't thinking of slapping, more like a Klingon headbutts. That works. Also, space looks great in Space Engineers, Antrager. Kudos. Yeah, I actually really like Space Engineers. The only, here's the thing about Space Engineers. If you haven't played it, it's a great game. It's buggy. It's got some issues, like we've been having weird stuff disappear from the server. I don't know if I don't think we've figured out why that is yet. But honestly, unless another game comes along that is better than Space Engineers at being what Space Engineers is, namely a game where you can create whatever you want, and there's also good combat in it, then yeah, that's unfortunately it's what we got to work with. And let's see. And Darren says, "Oh crap! Sorry about using the other N word back there. Totally forgot. My profuse apologies." That's okay, Darren. I doubt that we'll get in trouble for one occasional use of that term, but we just don't want to make the YouTube algorithm think that's what we're talking about. And 24-hour stream with Ed Wood movies for Anti-Trigger. That could be fun, although I enjoy Ed Wood movies. They're stupid, but they're funny. Corona says, Anti-Trigger, when are you trying out Dr. Alex's mead? Well, I have to wait until I'm on a stream where Dr. Alex is there, and then and then me and Mrs. Anti-Trigger will try it because we want to, tell him how much it sucks. Kronos wants to know what N-word. It's the word that describes the political party that was in control of Germany in the 1930s and 40s. Can't wait for the Space Engineers update. I hope they fix some of the bugs, that's for sure. And I think the economy thing that they're talking about, that could be interesting, and that could actually be really good for our server. And by the way, guys, don't forget, if you want to play on the server, get Space Engineers off of Steam. The instructions for joining our server are on antitracker.com. It's definitely a fun game, and the more people we can get involved, the better, because if we have to increase the server space, I'm all for that. But right now, I think the max people is 14, even though we haven't quite figured out how to get the max players in the game up to 14, so we're kind of wasting it. But, hopefully our fine admins, namely Wesley Crusher and Cinnabon, can figure it out. And thank you profusely, thank you to Wesley Crusher and Cinnabon for all the efforts you put into running this server, because it wouldn't be there if it wasn't for you two. Thank you so much. And on behalf of everyone who plays regularly in that server, thank you, because you guys are freaking awesome for not only dealing with the crap behind the scenes, but putting up with us complaining to you all the time about the crap in the game that I know is not your fault, but you guys are the ones we have to go to. So I truly do appreciate both of you putting in all the effort you have. Peter says, things vanishing, probably BIRDOPREY ninja skills. Yeah, BIRDOPREY ninja skills. I can't even get a wind turbine to work in Space Engineers, so I destroyed it, and I'm going to start with a solar panel. Wind turbines only work if you're on a planet with atmosphere. That's just so you know, Ozzy, if you're on the moon or on Mars or whatever, you have to be on Earth for the wind turbine to work. Otherwise, yeah, you need solar panels, but then you need batteries in order to have power at night. If I had more money than God, I would get BIRDOPREY 5 those fancy arm prosthetics, and then a standing wheelchair and a tricked out living room. There you go. 24-hour live stream will be 10 hours of streaming, 14 hours of catching up on comments section. Yeah, you're probably right. My thought for an economy was always to use a resource-based economy. Well, and that's the thing, like as Space Engineers, it will be, and that's why I'm really interested to see what this economy thing does, because you can harvest materials, and then I assume they're going to have some kind of currency system where you can, and put things up for sale and stuff. I think it'll be really interesting. And let's see, what about those who only play 2 or 3 times? Well, keep playing. Steve Shives actually got a video saying Insurrection ain't that bad. Got 67,000 views. World is definitely unfair. Well, yeah, there's that. And Kronos wants a participation award. You got it, Kronos. Let's see. Here you go. Your award is right here. This is my x-rays, my knee x-rays. So here you go. That's your award. Is there a video about Space Engineers update? I have not seen it, Ozzy. If it's out there, I have not seen it. We should do a lesson with Wesley and Cinnamon Day. I agree. I think that, Wesley, you should... we do need to figure out a way to organize the server a little bit. I don't know if there's a way to do it, but it would be nice if we could post a like something in the game for people to see. Hey, make sure that, you know, on this date we're gonna do this. On this date we're gonna do this. I think that'd be nice. Anyway, guys, I do need to wrap it up because I need to leave in just a few minutes to take Auntie to her training. So thank you all for hanging out with me. Have an awesome day, and yeah, when you have extra money, give it all to me because I'm a greedy bastard.